What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. Welcome to another episode of our show. It is Sunday. It's January 27th. It is about 11:13 a.m. on the clock, and I just got out of a VR Roundtable episode. So now I am doing this episode. And let me get my chat popped in the right spot here. Okay, here we go. MAME fan, I don't know if you're interested in it, brah. I don't know if you want to dial in, MAME fan. We can dial you up, bruh, if you want to hop in the discussion here. Or if not, either way, it's all good. One change I have made to the show is OBS. I don't know how this is going to work today, but OBS, I have a 20-second delay, and I chop that delay to 10 seconds. So my hope is from the time you guys post in chat to the time it pops up on the screen, that should be chopped in half. So, so basically, the delay is a little bit less. So I dialed it down to 10 seconds. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to reverberate, but we'll have to check that out. Another thing I wanted to say really quick is our thumbnail image is Virtual Reality Football Club, which I think they've changed the name to Football Nation VR. And you might be wondering, oh, is Anthony going to spend a lot of time talking about this Football Nation, you know, VR football club? No, I'm not. So basically what it does is, basically, I just eat some breakfast here, drinking a cup of coffee, so I'm getting back into the mix here. But basically, on like Saturday and Sunday, a lot of times, I don't have time to like find a good game that I'm going to be talking about on the show and find the right picture and be able to set it up for a nice thumbnail image. So what I've been doing, like even yesterday, I had a thumbnail image of Zing the Land Beyond. Today I've got a thumbnail image of Virtual Reality Football Club or Football Nation VR. And how did I choose this? I chose it. I have this huge folder that I have all these different little VR gaming pictures, like screenshots. And I just look for a screenshot of a VR game where I think, oh, I could put VR 365 up in the upper right corner. I can put myself over there. It'll look halfway decent. Yeah, that'll work. And that becomes my thumbnail image. So sometimes when you see these thumbnail images, they really don't have anything to do about anything. Like, I'm not talking about Virtual Reality Football Club at all. But that is why it is in there like that, just so you guys know. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take one more sip of coffee here. And yeah, some nice good coffee. Let me pop out my stories of the day. And so we got some interesting stuff to discuss today, guys. I've actually got quite a few different things to get into, but let me see here. I got to get my Webby browser set up first. And what I can do here is, well, let's go to the shit show. And not my shit show. Let's go to the Vive subreddit shit show. The Vive subreddit shit show is crazy. So let's hop over here to our Webby browser. And here we are. And yeah, this is the Vive subreddit, man. What happened? What happened to my Vive subreddit, guys? I used to go to this subreddit almost every show. You know, I would go to this subreddit every show, and we'd go through here, and sometimes we'd find some news. Sometimes we'd find some information. And all I'm seeing here is all kinds of craziness. 500 needs to step down. Dead sub. Please relocate to the egomaniacal mod-free Vive sub. Yeah, there's another sub. What is happening? Devs have recently come forward that they are permanently banned on rvive. Unsubscribe. Head over to rvive_VR. Down with 500. Destroy the bourgeois. I've been on this sub since just about day one, and it's a shame what's become of it. Ex-Valve staff and VR dev Chet Falazek Pones 500, 500. He pwned him like none other. Onward developer officially banned from R-Vive. See ya, R-Vive. Imagine trying to browse this subreddit for actual content. Yeah! Hazzy bazzy. You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to browse this subreddit for actual content for my show, and it's not helping me. What's going on here? Smash that unsubscribe button if you love VR. Well, you know, guys, I'm still subscribed. I'm still subscribed right now. And I don't know what to do about these kinds of situations. These stories happen, you know, these situations happen, and part of me thinks, okay, maybe I should unsubscribe, but another part of me thinks, you know what, just let this thing blow over. Like, this gets out of control, it goes a little bit chaotic, and what I also talked about today on the VR Roundtable episode, one of the things that I said is we've got to be careful not to overreact about this, guys. We got to be careful not to overreact, because I do believe there are a lot of fake Reddit accounts. Now, if you were in the VR Roundtable chat, I believe it was Kev Gray. I apologize because I just ate a bunch of food a minute ago. Like, I didn't have any breakfast prior to the VR Roundtable episode, and I just had breakfast in the 10 minutes in between the two episodes. And when you scarf down a bunch of breakfast, sometimes it doesn't agree with you. So I apologize for any belching or any of that kind of thing, if any of that does happen. But what I was saying in the VR Roundtable show earlier today is there's a lot of people that have fake Reddit accounts. I know this for sure. There are lots of fake Reddit accounts that are used to hype things up. They're used to suppress things. They're used for all kinds of reasons. And so when this type of thing happens and it goes into psycho mode, you gotta be careful here, man, because how many of these posts are real legitimate members, and how many of these posts are people that have like 10 different fake Reddit accounts and they're using all of them and they're creating this chaos. So yeah, Crunchy says, you're telling the internet not to overreact. It is one of the hardest things you ever will do. You are swimming upstream. Oh, Paradise Decay says, and I thought those weird noises were Job. Yeah, so I just ate a bunch of food, guys. You're going to hear weird noises, smacking noises, all kinds of things. My apologies. It is what it is. So yeah, basically the number one story of the day is there is a straight up mutiny on the Vive subreddit. There is a straight up mutiny. It is in progress. There is a coup d'etat, or whatever they call it. You know, there is, it's a revolution. It's a revolution that is going on over here. Dead sub. Please relocate to another sub. Okay, so let's check out this other sub, actually. Why don't we check that out live, folks? Let's check out this other sub live and direct. Okay, so here's another sub. Yeah, and so one of the things that you're going to notice about in this other sub, like, do we really want this? Is this what we want, guys? Because here's your other sub. Now look at all these videos. Here's my game. Here's my YouTube channel. Here's my Patreon. You know, so is this what you want? Do you want this? Like, do you want your Vive subreddit to be filled with nothing but basically shit posts and people like promoting their own stuff? Here you got, I can finally post the gameplay video of our upcoming VR game, District Steel. Well, hey, I'm a fan of District Steel. Is it a new video or is it the same video they've had for a while here? Let me go ahead and look at this because we haven't heard from Barricade Studio, and I've wondered about these guys. Okay, so we are two guys who are making our first game, a VR sci-fi action game called District Steel. We are longtime gamers who decided that it's time that we give our own shot at making a game. We've always loved the early 3D gaming area from the late 90s, which, yeah, that's what I'm reminded of. I think these guys are stealing my own feelings about this game and saying that that's really what their inspiration was. Okay, and then they say, this video shows an early preview of the gameplay in case people missed it when it was posted before. Hope you guys like it and let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, my question is, when the hell is the game coming out? That's my question. And then he says, we are using Unreal Engine for this and making all assets in Maya and Substance Painter, blah, blah, blah. They started about 2.5 years ago. Zero experience in game dev. Uh-oh. I don't know that that sounds very good. So yeah, I'm not sure when District Steel is coming out, but I am interested in it. I mean, you know, the good news is they've finally been allowed to like post about something. So this is like the other side of the equation. But I don't know. We've got to find a happy medium, I think. Like we need to find a happy medium between making it all everybody pumping their own stuff and then having real discussions. I don't know. It's a hard nut to crack. It really is. I don't know how to solve this problem. But yeah, mutiny on the Vive subreddit. Paradise Decay says, that's why I like the Oculus subreddit. King Hell says, I can't deal with Reddit. I have VR365 to give me the highlights. Well, yeah, that's good, and I will give you the highlights. I do go to these subreddits. I use them all the time. I don't know that this is going to be my new subreddit. They've got nearly 7,000 subscribers. There's 475 people using it right now. And, you know, then you have the regular Vive subreddit. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this whole thing plays itself out. It kind of reminds me when NeoGAF had a major kerfuffle. They started somebody started another website that was kind of like a replacement for NeoGAF, and like half of all the NeoGAF people went over to this replacement website. Half of everybody stayed on. And then it's almost like what do you call it? You know, divide and conquer, man. This is divide and conquer. The pancake gamers are doing this to us. They're trying to divide and conquer. They're so scared of VR that they're trying to divide and conquer us. I don't know what is going on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and step back here to our standard scene really quick. Okay, so one of the topics I did want to get into, and let me see if I can grab, I don't know that I have a trailer for it. I probably don't have a trailer for it. But basically, one of the topics that we've heard about recently... Oh, no, wait a minute. I do have a trailer, I think. Hold on, let me see if I can find this trailer. Just a sec, let's see. Yeah, I haven't really prepared for today's episode. My apologies for that, guys. And it's not really my fault that I haven't prepared for this episode. You know why it's not my fault? Because I was doing another episode, guys, and I just woke up and went straight into the other episode. So it's not my fault. It really isn't. Okay, so let me go ahead and throw a trailer. Yeah, Linus is responsible. He's pretty much responsible for everything. Okay, so let me throw this trailer on the screen real quick, and then I'll get into this topic I wanted to talk about. Okay, so this is Subnautica Below Zero, and this is a little montage that I made forever and a day ago when this was very first announced, and we didn't really have any information on Subnautica Sub-Zero. All we had were a couple of little screenshots, and we thought, okay, this is going to be a big, huge monster game. Subnautica, man! This is going to be awesome. We love Subnautica in VR, and so, of course, this is going to be in VR as well, right? It's going to be in VR. And then we just found out, like yesterday or the day before, in fact, MameFan actually posted this on the Vive subreddit before the Vive subreddit went to hell. He basically posted that Subnautica Below Zero is not apparently going to have any VR support. We also know that Dirt Rally 2 is not going to have any VR support, at least as far as we can tell. And there's petitions that are going on. There's lots of people complaining. And one of the things I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this on the VR Roundtable episode earlier today, I believe that there is a way around this problem. I believe that there is a solution to this problem. So what is the problem exactly? The problem is developers, they don't really want to provide a VR version of their game because they're thinking about the headaches that are going to come along with that. Like, they're thinking about all the different people that have Oculus Rifts, HTC Vives, or whatever, Windows Mixed Reality. You got all these different headsets. You got different sensors and different tracking. You got Windows 10. You got these Windows updates. And, you know, a Windows update just came through that stealthily included Skype in it, which is going to break your Vive audio driver. There's all these different little things. And a lot of developers, like, their point of view is, look, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of our audience is going to play this in VR. The rest of everybody's going to play it in flat. Do we want to take the time and the money? Do we want to take the time and money to create a VR version of this game and have a VR version available when such a tiny fraction of our audience is actually going to care about the VR part of it? And then added on top of all of that is the support. Like, we're going to have to provide support. People are going to have problems with the VR version. People are going to have problems with the way the UI works, or the way this works, or the way that works. Are we going to want to deal with these problems? Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for us to deal with these problems when such a tiny percentage of our audience even cares about the VR version. But here's the solution. The solution is provide an experimental VR mode. Bury it in the options, an experimental VR mode. Because what this does is, as a developer, you could say, no, we're not providing VR support, although, you know what, we kind of have an experimental VR mode. It's buried in our options, but we're not providing any kind of official VR support. And so there's going to be no VR technical support. There's going to be none of that because this is an experimental thing. We're just adding this on as a special bonus for the people that are really hardcore, for the people that can deal with the jank, they can figure out the UI, or maybe they're going to mod it, or maybe they're going to do this, or maybe they're going to do that. We have an experimental VR version that you can go into the options and you could turn on the experimental VR mode. And that's the answer. That's the answer to all of these problems, because if you do that, then nobody can really complain about anything. And so Subnautica, the first Subnautica, works with VR. Does it have some problems? Sure. It doesn't have motion controller support. The UI is like right here up in your face, and it's it's locked to your head movement, and it's locked right here, and it's very annoying. And there's some other issues that you got to deal with. But it still works in VR, and it looks incredible in VR. You're under the water, you're in this alien ocean. The sunlight is coming through the water. You see all these beautiful different sea creatures and everything that's going on in there. It's a beautiful game in VR. It's an incredible game in VR with all the jank that is included. And we know that it works. So you're going to tell me that they're using a completely different game engine and they can't just like do what they did for the first Subnautica and just like copy it over? Like, it's the same game engine, just copy it over. I know it's going to be janktacular, but put it in the menu, experimental VR support. And it's the same thing that Codemasters can do with Dirt Rally 2.0, is put in an experimental VR mode, because what this does is it free ups the developer. The developer can say, we don't officially support VR, and they're not lying. They don't officially support it. It's an experimental mode. So they don't have to dedicate support. That they're going to say, look, it's an experimental mode. There's no support that comes along with it. So I just feel like developers, like, they feel like it's more trouble than it's worth, so you just want to back away from it. But that's my solution. I don't know if it'll actually work, but that's my solution of it. And Bullet Ape says the problem is they aren't making any money from it. Simple, sad, but likely true. It's weird, though, because we get these conflicting stories. We get these conflicting stories where VR is dead. You know, we get the VR is dead story, and then we get the super data story where it says VR year over year, you know, it's improved by 30-something%. And all these thousands, hundreds of thousands of PlayStation VR headsets are sold. Extra Oculus Go things are sold. I think Subnautica Below Zero is actually like a DLC, because VR Spry Guy is asking, is this a whole new game or is this DLC? At first I thought it was a whole new game, but now I think it's DLC, but I'm not positive about that. But yeah, it's terribly unfortunate, because this was going to be a hyped game that we were going to really get into. But yeah, my number one question, and where's the Primordian dev when you need him? Because my number one question for the devs out there is, why not do an experimental mode? an experimental VR mode. And I'm sure like the devs of Subnautica, like if they were in chat right now, they would say, well, here's the problem with that, blah, 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 blah. And so there must be a problem with an experimental mode. But I think that is the solution in my personal opinion. Okay, let's see. What else can I get in here? Okay, I've got another story. I'm trying to see if I have a trailer for it, though. Hold on a second. If not, I can go to... yeah, I do have a trailer for it. Okay, so hold on. Let me go ahead and bring this trailer over. And I can pop this on the screen. We can check this out real quick for my next story here. Okay, back over here and grab the trailer. Okay, so the next story I have is there is a game out there. It is called Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. And this game came out a while back. I thought it was really colorful and very beautiful, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a really enchanting thing. I want to go into Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams because it looks like this enchanting world, and it looks like it would be very cool. And I went into this game, and it just wasn't very good. Like, I wasn't that impressed with it. It just didn't work very well for me, and so it ultimately became a disappointment. But what I did want to mention is apparently, although this game is on Steam, it has never supported the HTC Vive or Windows Mixed Reality. It's available on PlayStation VR, it's available on the Oculus Store, it's also available on Steam, but it only has Oculus support. And so this game is in the news because official HTC Vive and Windows Mixed Reality support is going to be coming soon to this game, Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. And so, not that this is like, you know, major news, breaking news, guys. Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. We've all been dreaming about this game, and we want to play it so bad. I don't think that's the case at all, but I did want to mention that apparently there is a new announcement that this will be coming to Vive and Rift very soon. So let's go ahead and bounce over to our webby browser right here. And so this is our webby browser, Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. As you can see, this came out actually way back on October 14th. This has been out for a while. And if you scroll down here, it says VR support headsets, Oculus Rift. And I never noticed that. I thought, like, I didn't know that Vive players and Windows Mixed Reality players apparently could not play this game, even if they wanted to. I had no idea. It's only on PSVR. And so, yeah, on January 24th, like just a few days ago, they said that HTC Vive and Windows Mixed Reality support is going to be coming very soon. We're working on bug fixing and polishing the Vive Windows Mixed Reality version at the moment. Everything is now feature complete, and we should be able to release it in the next few weeks. So if you are a Vive or Windows Mixed Reality player and you've been waiting around for this, although you probably shouldn't, like, it looks good, it looks cool. I like these kinds of games. I like just being in VR worlds, to be completely honest with you. But I'm trying to remember what my problems were with this game, and I know one of the problems that I had was the audio seemed to be off. Like, the audio didn't work right. I was like hearing a lot of noises out of one ear, and then I would turn my head and then I would hear it out of the other ear, but it wasn't something was wrong with the audio, and it just wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. It does have a cool look, you know, and it seems almost like a Zing the Land Beyond, but just didn't quite do it for me. But anyway, that is Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams. So I just wanted to bring that up really quick. All right, so these stories are kind of out of order because I didn't get a chance to fix all of this prior to our show, but oh well, tough titty. Okay, so the next story we have is actually, you know what, why don't we go to this story? The NPD Group has provided a list of the top selling VR-only games for PlayStation VR. And this is rather unusual, guys, because normally you gotta pay big money to get this information. Back in the good old days, you could get the NPD numbers. They used to release the NPD numbers. And there would be certain outlets like IGN or different publishers would pay literally thousands of dollars. They would pay thousands of dollars to be subscribed to NPD to get all of the sales numbers, like exact numbers on the sales. And it used to be that we got this information, but a number of years back, it all went private and you couldn't get this information unless somebody was leaking it. Okay, now this is on Twitter. This is Matt Piscatella, and he works for NPD. He actually works for NPD, and he has been allowed to release this information. And so what is this? This is best-selling PlayStation 4 VR required games in the USA ranked on dollar sales. And this is for all of 2018, I believe. And Firewall Zero Hour is 2018's bestseller. Number 2, Farpoint. Like, who would have thought that Farpoint would be the second best-selling? Okay, this includes physical and full game digital. So it includes both physical sales and digital sales, but it does not include bundles. It does not include bundles because look at one of the number one replies. Adam Blyce says, I'm bummed to see Astrobot so low. Thoughts? And you can see Astrobot is down here at 4th, and he's kind of surprised, like, why is Astrobot way down here at 4th? It does not include bundles. It says bundles are excluded. It's one of the top bundle games, and digital isn't included as well. Wait, what? Digital isn't included as well. It says right here, 2018 top 10 games, physical and full game digital for publishers in the digital leader panel. Is this physical only? If it's physical only, it kind of makes sense some of the games that are showing up on here because we got Firewall Zero Hour at number 1, Farpoint at number 2, Bravo Team? Like, Bravo Team was a major dud. How could that be number 3? Astrobot is number 4, Skyrim is 5, The Inpatient, another kind of dud, right? Doom VFR, Rick and Morty Virtual Reality, PlayStation VR Worlds, and Star Trek Bridge Crew. So these are the top 10 in the year 2018, and this is actual NPD. These are not fake numbers. See, a lot of times we're getting fake numbers. These are like legitimate, straight up, real deal numbers. But this guy's saying digital is not included. What about the AIM controller bundles? The top 3 games were all sold bundled with a controller. Yeah, I kind of believe that this does include the AIM controllers because look at Farpoint, look at Bravo Team, Firewall Zero Hour. Those are all AIM games. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this chart, but I thought it was interesting because it's like legitimate information, but now we don't really know exactly what the information means. So I guess bad on me for bringing up this story. Okay. What other story did I want to get into? You know what? Let's actually bounce over to the Oculus Rift subreddit for a second here. Oh, no. This is the one I want to go to. Okay, so CNET.com has a story, and it goes like this. Oculus Quest feels like the Nintendo Switch of VR, but will that be enough to make a dent? So this is kind of an interesting story here because they're saying the Oculus Quest, you know, it kind of feels like the Nintendo Switch for the VR gaming world. And I've said this a number of times. I've said it ad nauseum that this is a major competitor in the regular gaming space. Like, this is threatening Nintendo. It is threatening Sony. It is threatening Xbox. Now, you might say, well, it is a minor threat at best. Like, I don't think Phil Spencer of Xbox is like sweating profusely because the Oculus Quest is going to come and it's going to shatter all of his dreams. I seriously don't think that. I don't think the heads at Sony are stressing out over the Oculus Quest. I don't think Nintendo is stressing out over the Oculus Quest. But make no mistake, this is a threat. It is a legitimate threat. It might be a very minor threat, but it is still a threat. And the reason it's such a threat is because it's an all-in-one deal. It's an all-in-one deal. What's your deal, man? What's your deal? It's an all-in-one deal. It comes in one box. You get the Oculus Quest, you get the 2 controllers. It's 6 degrees of freedom on the headset, 6 degrees of freedom on the controllers. there's nothing else you need to buy. You don't have to buy a PlayStation 4. You don't have to buy a PC. You don't need a smartphone. You don't need anything else. It is an all-in-one solution for $399.99. And it's going to be available at Best Buy. It's probably going to hit Target and Walmart and Costco and Amazon and Newegg. It's going to be at all of the major retailers. And you know what? If you go into it should be in the video game section of these places. It should, like if I'm Oculus, if I'm Facebook, I would demand that they do not put this in the PC area. Like when you go to Best Buy, like I'll tell you right now, it is an incredible mistake, a colossal mistake actually. If you can walk into a Best Buy and you have to go to the PC area to find the Oculus Quest, that would be a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. That is a horrible, horrible idea. I hope the powers that be at Facebook and Oculus make this very well known. When you go to Best Buy, you should have to go to the video game section. You should have to go where PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox live. You go over there, and that's where you should see the Oculus Quest because it is competing in that same market. Because somebody can waltz into Walmart, you know, Joe and Sally Walmart are going to their store and they're shopping for a big gigantic party-sized bag of Doritos because that's what they love. And while they're there, they might go over to the electronics section and they might be looking for an Xbox One game because they love the Xbox One and they're big Oakland Raiders fans as well. Just kidding, just kidding. But they go over to their Walmart section and they go to the Xbox section. They should see the Oculus Quest right there. They shouldn't have to go to where the laptops are. They shouldn't have to go to the PC area. That would be a major mistake, folks. Major mistake. This is a competitor that is right there because it's all in one box. There's nothing else that needs to be bought. It's a console. This is a console. Like you're not going to Steam to buy your games. You're going straight into Oculus. You buy the games. It's a closed ecosystem. I know a lot of people hate that, but it is what it is. And yes, I do believe this is the Nintendo Switch of VR. This needs to be the Nintendo Switch of VR. This better be the Nintendo Switch of VR. Because if this isn't the Nintendo Switch of VR, then basically our dream of widespread VR adoption is probably 5 years longer than we already thought it was. Now, if this is the Nintendo Switch of VR, we're all good. We're really good because it's gonna pick up a wave of popularity. There's going to be commercials all over the place. Super Data is estimating that 1.3 million Oculus Quest systems are going to sell in the calendar year of 2019. And that is damn impressive. We're talking 1,300,000 headsets. And we're not talking fiscal 2019. I think we're talking the calendar year of 2019, and this is going to arrive maybe on April 1st, so you're not getting the entire year. You're getting 9 months. You're not getting 12 months, and I don't know why Wolverine is over there in that little commercial, that Bentley commercial that looked kind of like Wolverine. But yeah, this is the Oculus Quest. Is it the Nintendo Switch? Look, there's Wolverine. See, he's in the forest. This is the Oculus Quest, and it needs to be the Nintendo Switch that we need it to be. Now, they're saying $400 for the Quest isn't cheap, but it's the cost of a game console. It's $100 more than a Nintendo Switch. It's spitting distance from an impulse purchase. Exactamundo, baby. Exactamundo. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. This is treading on console waters. It is treading on console waters, absolutely, without any question. Okay, so I've been yapping for a long time. Let's see what people in chat are saying. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And let's see. Hussein X says, it should be next to consoles and Nintendo Switch on shelves, especially Nintendo Switch. Small 2D screen or inside the game. I know Switch can be hooked up to a TV. And Paradise Decay says, I thought they said the Quest would be £399 and $399. See, yeah, you guys over there in Europe and Australia and basically anywhere other than the USA, you guys always get boned because it's not a direct translation. Here in the United States, it is $399 US, and that's really nice. But 399 pounds is not the equivalent of $399. So you guys over there in the UK, you do get kind of boned. So maybe it will be in the computer department over there rather than being, up front in Argos or wherever. Kevgret says, do you need a PC to set it up? You shouldn't. If you do, they made a terrible mistake. If you need to, even if you need to use a phone, you shouldn't have to use a phone or anything. Like an Oculus Go, you get an Oculus Go, you got to use a phone to set it up. Why? It shouldn't have to be that. You shouldn't need anything. You should have one box, you take it home, you open it up, you put it on, you connect it to your Wi-Fi, bada boom, bada bing. You shouldn't have to need anything to set this up. King Hell says, not the Atari Jaguar. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. And VR_gamer says, maybe it will be the Wii U of VR. Oh, God, we got to hope not. We've got to hope it is not the Wii U of VR. That would be an utter disaster. And Fluke says, think they've only announced a US dollar price so far. I've not seen any other currency prices directly from Facebook. And Dual Touch Controller says, now I can offer VR without worries about difficulty of use for my VR newbies, friends, and family. Yeah, this is a perfect product. It really is. It is a wonderful, wonderful product. Now, for those of you that are hardcore PC gamers, and one of your worries, your number one worry, is the closed ecosystem, and you don't like this idea of a closed ecosystem, you want an open ecosystem, you're kind of boned, because this is absolutely, it is a closed ecosystem like none other. Build the wall. Build the wall. Well, Facebook built the wall, damn it. They built the wall, and they built a ceiling, and they put a locked door on the front. This is a closed ecosystem. You are not going to be using this on your PC without hacking the shit out of it, because they're probably selling this at a loss. They're probably taking maybe a $70 loss on every single one of these puppies that are sold. And they're not going to take a loss on this, have you buy it, and then have you hook it up to Steam. They're like, hell no. They don't want any part of that. That is not going to happen there. So one thing Fluke is mentioning, though, prices in the UK do include tax. So there's nothing extra to add on, where we do have to pay tax separately here in the US. So yeah, that is a little bit of a difference there. But I do like the fact, that CNET, a major website like this, has a major story calling it that it could be the Nintendo Switch of VR. That would be very awesome if it was, and that would make a huge dent, I do believe. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's see, one of the next things I can get into real quick. Well, let me just do a Google search real quick. Google. Okay, so there is a program called Little Star VR. Okay, Little Star, the world revolves around you. So I just wanted to actually I'll click on this here. So this is available for PlayStation VR, and this is a very popular app on PlayStation VR, and it's popular for all the wrong reasons. No, it has to do with VR Paradise. It has to do with prawn, right? Okay. And so one thing I've heard, some people are talking about this is going to go premium, apparently. So Little Star VR Cinema is a free app. Like you see right here, it is free. It is free on PlayStation VR. And this is how a lot of you degenerates, if you get your prawn on your PSVR, this is how you do it. You do it with Little Star VR. And there are rumors, Little Prawn VR. Yeah, that's a good one, Kevgret. Little Prawn VR. There are rumors that this is converting from a free app to a premium app. And the panic is thick. But there's good news, ladies and gentlebots. There is good news. The good news is you'll still be able to side load your prawn. At least that's what I've heard. You're still going to be able to side load your prawn. So don't go into a panic when you find out that Little Star VR Cinema has gone from a free app to a premium app. Apparently, you're still going to be able to side load your prawn without paying any extra money, but that is not confirmed. That is not confirmed. And MainFan says, I've never tried PSVR prawn. I have never tried it either. I've never tried it either. In fact, I've never tried any prawn, ever. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's see. What else do we want to get into? Well, you know what? We can talk about the daily deal, guys. The Oculus daily deal. They have a daily deal every day, right? So let's see. Let's find it here. Let's see what the daily deal is of today. And here it is. The daily deal is Arizona Sunshine. Arizona Sunshine, the normal price for Arizona Sunshine, 40 bones. It is 37% off. It is down to 25 bucks. You do have about 12 hours left in this daily deal for Arizona Sunshine. Now, I gotta say, oh, you know, I just saw up there that A Fisherman's Tale is also $12.74 on Oculus. So it's nice to see that Oculus is matching some of these Steam deals price for price, because every once in a while that doesn't happen. Oh, this is free, Traveling While Black. You know, I heard about this. In fact, actually, there's this story over here. If we go over here to Engadget, I was going to bring up this story at Sundance. This is a major story on Engadget. In fact, it's like one of the lead stories on Engadget.com, which this is kind of impressive. They're talking about at Sundance, VR explores America's legacy of racism and Eminem, which also has a lot of inherent racism in Eminem. It's another fascinating year for artistic VR experiences. And so this is like some Felix and Paul thing. They have Traveling While Black, and it's going to be on the Sundance Film Festival. It's directed by Roger Ross Williams, explores just how difficult it was for African Americans to move around the U.S. during the Jim Crow and Civil Rights era. It uses 360-degree video to place you right inside of Ben's Chili Bowl, a historic safe place for black travelers in Washington, D.C. As you're sitting in a booth, you hear firsthand about how dangerous something as simple as a bus trip could be. You know what? I got to tell you guys, like, you might think that all this, like, racism stuff is overblown, but it isn't as overblown as you might think it is. Do you know that my dad, when he was in the U.S. military, he had to, is that like the new Standing While White? Yeah, it's kind of similar. But no, seriously, people like minorities, people of, you know, mixed ethnicities and all kinds of different cultures, they do have to deal with some stuff. Now, some of it might be overblown, and sometimes we go too far in the other direction. Like we overcompensate for what goes down. I'm about to get a little political right here. But one little story I can give you guys. My dad was in the military, okay, in like the late 60s, the late 60s, my dad was in the military, and he was stationed in like Mississippi, okay, in the South, right? My dad is not black. Okay, my dad is deceased now. He died a long time ago, but my dad is Italian. He was like 100% Italian, Sicilian, really. And when he was in the South, in the military, he, like his other friends that he had in the military, they would go into a restaurant. My dad wasn't allowed to eat in the restaurant. Like, he was turned away. He couldn't go into the restaurant because he was freaking Italian and his skin was, you know, darker, olive colored, right? So, and that's an Italian person, right? This is an Italian person in the 60s. And so just imagine what a lot of African American people have to deal with. And I know, look, I know a lot of people think this is overblown. I have some really good African American friends. And I remember back in the days when I was like in high school and stuff, I'd be with one of my black friends, right? And we would be going into like some kind of little store or something. And it would be amazing to me. Like, I noticed this. I'm walking around with my buddy and we're looking around in a store, and there would be security, like extra security people that would be following us around. And only because I was there with my black friend. Extra security, like keeping their eye on us, where when I was in the store normally, there wouldn't be no extra security. I'm telling you, black people got to deal with some stuff. And see, the thing about virtual reality, I'm not trying to get into like a racism debate or anything like that, but the thing about virtual reality is it is something of an empathy machine. You know, it places you in the shoes of other people. So I do think this could possibly be very interesting to check this out. It is called Traveling While Black, and I guess it's available right now on Oculus. So I want to check this out. It's a 360-degree video. Yeah, I know 360-degree videos are kind of garbage, but I still want to check it out. Let's see. It's directed by Roger Ross Williams, and this is his first VR film, but he had some guidance from co-producers Felix and Paul, and Felix and Paul have done incredible work. You know, they've done some great work with like 360 videos and stuff. So much love for that. And then we got this Marshall from Detroit thing. You know, we've heard about the Marshall from Detroit thing. There's this thing called Emergence that is really trippy. So, you know, there's a lot of trippy stuff that's going on Sundance. So I just wanted to mention that. We were actually over here. I was talking about this. Oops. Wait, where was I? I was over here. We were talking about the Daily Deal, and I'm sorry I got completely sidetracked because Traveling While Black like flashed on the screen. I was like, oh yeah, Traveling While Black. I better mention that real quick. But yeah, Arizona Sunshine is the Daily Deal. I've seen much better prices than this, but if you've really, really, really been hankering for some Arizona Sunshine, you've been wanting to buy it for a long time, you know, you can save $15, or you can maybe wait for another aggressive Steam sale or another kind of extra sale that is going on. Okay, Pinnacle Rising says, why did the owner feel it necessary to have extra security? No, they had security there already, but what would happen is I would be in there, like if I was in there by myself, there wouldn't be an extra security guy following me around, but I happen to go in there with my black friend, and then all of a sudden I see a security guy like following, like trying to be nonchalant, you know, trying to pretend like he's looking at clothes and stuff, but really he's watching me and my buddy, where he wouldn't be there if it was just me by myself. So like real racism still freaking exists. It is stronger than it ever was. Like it is still there. And I don't blame racist people either. Because see, here's the thing about racist people. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. People that are hardcore racist, in their world, what they believe is true. What they believe is true because your perception is your reality. See, here's the thing. Our brains can only handle so much. This is Anthony like going on a podium here and talking way out of his league. But you know, it's Sunday Fun Day. So let's talk about racism, guys. It's Sunday Fun Day. Yeah, let's talk about racism. But no, seriously. Here's what I kind of believe. Now, this is my theory on this. But we all have different beliefs about everything, right? And our brains can only process so much data. And there's more data in our reality than our brains can process. So what our brains do is our brains are like a great filtering machine. What our brain does is it filters all this information which would overload us. If there was no filter, we wouldn't be able to handle it. There'd be too much info coming in. Yeah, here goes Ranthony, y'all. Ranthony is in the building. There's too much information, right, out there that would come in if our brain didn't filter it. And so what our brain does is our brain filters everything. And this works with people that are negative about everything and people that are positive about everything. Okay, so if you know somebody that is negative about everything, everything is always going wrong, everybody is out to get them, their job is out to get them, their parents hate them, everybody doesn't like them, everybody doesn't a negative person, right? Okay, now what you're thinking in your head is you're thinking, this guy's lying, man. No, this guy... Come on, everybody doesn't hate him. No, in that person's world, because that's what they truly believe, their brain is filtering things out. And so what their brain does is anytime there's something negative, their brain goes zzz, Enhance, enhance, zoom in, zoom in. There's negativity, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. And so, oh, there's negativity, bro. Negativity, there it is, bro. There's negativity. And so what it is your brain can only handle a limited set of information. So if you believe in a negative world, your brain is going to deliver it to you. And if you have somebody standing right next to you and they're all about positivity, you've seen these people before. They're like, it's such a wonderful day. I'm so happy. Oh, everything's great. Oh, I missed the bus and this car drove by me and it splashed mud all over me. But you know what? I feel great. You know those people as well, where they are Mr. Happy Pants. Everything is beautiful for them. Okay, those people, you think they're lying too. Like you think they're lying to themselves. Like there's no way the world could be that happy and that joyous and everything. They're lying to themselves. No, they're not. They believe that the world is like that, and they only have and their brain is selectively showing them things for them to be happy about. So the brain is like, zzz, 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 zoom in on this. This is happy. Oh, that's negative. Completely ignore that. Completely ignore that. That's negative. Ignore that. Zzz, 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 zoom in on that. Okay, so when you go to the racism card, it works the same way. For example, like somebody could have a belief that like there's one of the racist beliefs out there is Mexican people are lazy. It's like some kind of weird belief that people have. Mexican people are lazy. It's a racist belief, right? But if somebody believes that, what's going to happen is throughout their entire life, all they're going to notice is Mexican people being lazy. And when there's a really hard-working Mexican person that is busting his ass and working really hard, and there's tons of them, the brain is going to completely ignore that. And they're going to focus on the people that are lazy. So what I'm trying to say here is it's not even the racist people's fault. They got these racist views, and in their world, that really is the world. I don't know why I went on this crazy long rant. This has nothing to do with video games. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for going off on a crazy rant. Okay. But that's my, like, this is not like facts. This is my belief on how it works. I believe there's too much information. Our brain filters the information. And so whatever you believe the world to truly be, you're going to get a lot of that. And it's going to ignore whatever the opposite is. That's kind of my belief on that. Okay. So let's move on. I don't know. Oh, how did I get into this? Yeah, it was traveling while black. That's how I got into it. Okay. Let's move on, folks. Let's see. What other stories do we have? Okay, we do have another story here. Let me look up VR furballs actually on the Rift section. VR furballs. Okay, so this is in the news, guys. VR furballs, there is a demo. VR furballs demolition demo. And you know what? I gotta tell you, if you guys have always wanted, Angry Birds in VR, and I know there is actually an Angry Birds VR thing that was announced, but I think it's coming to VR arcades or location-based centers. And then there's Angry Birds that is on the Magic Leap 1. But if you want to play Angry Birds right now, and you've got an Oculus Rift, there's a demo now. This demo has been available on Steam for the longest time, but now it is available on the Oculus Store. And so I believe there's a change that has been made. There's a change that has been made to the Oculus Store where now it can have demos. We're starting to see demos. Remember, it got started with Wrench. We had a Wrench demo, and now there are starting to be other demos. And I think Oculus used to have a problem back in the days. Oculus had a problem. They couldn't have demos. We never had demos, and that's why we had these free weekends. But now we're getting demos, and now there's no more free weekends. I want the free weekends. So it's like we kind of traded our free weekends for demos. Now we have demos. Now there's no free weekends. But yeah, if you want to try VR Furballs, I think it is actually really damn good. Like VR Furballs is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually pretty cool. How much is VR Furballs anyway? Just the regular version. Let's check. Regular version of VR Furballs. So, and it's on sale. You know, it's on sale. You can grab it for under 10 bones, $9.74, a 35% discount. Normally goes for $15. And you know what? This is a good game because some of you guys out there, you got young kids. You got 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 11-year-old kids in your family. You might want an occasional VR game that is perfect for your kids. VR Furballs, actually very good for your kids. So not a bad buy there for under $10. Not a bad buy. All right, I'm continuing to scroll. And you know what? I think I've gone over all my stories already, damn it. I've already gone over all my stories. Yeah, so I guess we're going to have to freelance at this point. Okay, so what we can do now is we can check out some of the various subreddits. I can go to chat. I'm kind of scared to go to chat, though, after I got into all that crazy talk there. VR Spry Guy says, this is an epic rant. It won't come close to Uplay, but still. And King Hell says, Ant solves racism. Well, I haven't solved it, but I've explained it. I've explained racism. I've explained negativity. I've explained positivity. And Jim Hall says, those who complain about racism are typically the most racist. You know, I mean, I'm not going to go back into it. I'm not going to go back into it. A big part of our reality, guys, is when we grow up as little kids, we are exposed to data from mom and dad, from our babysitters. We're exposed to things. And it's, you know, we're creatures of our environment. We really are. We are very much creatures of our own environment. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, VR Sprite Guy says $9.74. That's less than it cost to repair my tire. Absolutely, yeah. It cost me $12 to repair my dang tire. Okay, let's go ahead and check out some of the subreddits real quick. I'm going to bounce over to the PlayStation VR subreddit, and let's go ahead and give this a nice fat refresh. Okay, my dad playing luge and falling backwards. Let's go ahead and click on this and see how funny and goofy it is. Oh, it's Grandpa. Grandpa, we get to see somebody's toenails. Grandpa is playing the luge. He's moving back and forth. Aw, Gramps. Look at Gramps. Oh, there goes Gramps. There goes Gramps. You know, it's always nice. Gramps looks like he has an alien that's about to burst out of his chest. Wait a minute. Are we watching PlayStation VR Worlds, or is this Alien Isolation VR? Because didn't it look like Gramps had an alien that was about to burst out? I thought we were about to see Alien 5 unleash from Gramps. But yeah, I love to see really old people in VR because it's got to be amazing for them. It's going to be the equivalent of like when I'm 90 years old and Magic Leap 12 is available and it's holograms everywhere. And I'm going to be this old ass guy. What are you playing, Sonny? What are you doing? And he's going to be like, we got Magic Leap 12, Grandpa. Magic Leap 12. Magic Leap 12? Oh, Justin Davis is coming in. Okay, let's go ahead and answer the call. What is up, bro? Yeah, you know what? I got you muted in the show, though. Hold on a second. Let me... we got Main Fan joining us live, ladies and gentlemen. He really wants to get in on the racism talk. Okay, Main Fan, Main Fan, go ahead and say something.
What's up, Brez?
What's up, Brez? Yeah, so Main Fan, do you like it? Are you like me? Now, first of all, when you saw that video that we just saw there, did you believe an alien was about to burst out of this grandpa's chest? Let me go back to the video here. Okay, hold for it. Okay, there's Gramp. He's rocking back and forth. He's playing luge on PlayStation VR Worlds. He's having a great time. We're seeing somebody else's toe jam. Oh, there's the alien. It's about to burst. The alien is about to burst. Were you scared by that a little bit, Main Fan?
Yeah, because of the delay, I can't even see the video.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. And I cut my delay by 10 seconds, and it didn't seem to help that much because we're still very delayed. But yeah, I'm over on the PlayStation VR subreddit, and I'm just clicking on random things. But is there something that you wanted to bring up specifically or anything you wanted to talk about?
You were talking about Walk on Arrow and Derail Valley, and I played both of those demos last night. I mean, I liked both of them. I know you said you liked Walk on Arrow more than Slightly Heroes. I strongly disagree.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's go to I'm gonna pop up the Steam page for Walk on Arrow, just so people know what we're talking about here. Well, you know, I mean, see, the thing is, I didn't play it's not like I played Slightly Heroes anywhere near the kind of hours that you've played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you really know what Slightly Heroes is all about. How long did you play this Walk on Arrow demo?
Probably just 30 minutes. But what I can't deal with is, just the teleporting. I I don't know. And Slightly Heroes is free locomotion. I just feel, you know, like I have just so much more control.
Yeah, yeah. The teleporting is it does get annoying because I found myself just pushing, like, didn't you find yourself just randomly pushing the thumbstick and then remembering, oh yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And that's the same thing of in a fisherman's tale. I would randomly, like, I just want to walk 2 feet over that way, but I can't. That was one of the other little annoyances. Okay, and so you also tried the Derail Valley demo. So let me just put
Yeah.
Derail Valley up here on the screen while we talk about it. Okay, what did you think of the Derail Valley demo? Although, wait, before you say anything about it, the one thing that I have heard, I forget who it was, somebody somewhere, maybe it was on Discord or maybe it was in a Reddit thread, somebody was talking about Derail Valley and they were saying that that demo is so old that it doesn't even represent what the current game is. Like, the current game is so much different from that demo. I read that somewhere, but anyway, go ahead. Tell us about your experience with this demo.
I was impressed by it. The only thing was I didn't know what I was doing. I had a hard time, like I coupled my train to, like, some other train cars, and I just didn't know, like, where I was supposed to go or what the point was.
Yeah.
Did you understand what you were supposed to be doing?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
understand whatsoever. And like when I was playing, I didn't even couple any cars. All I had was my engine. And did you go to the steam locomotion at all? Like, there's a steam one, there's a regular one
I don't think there was an option to change anything
to
in
get
the
out of
demo.
there, like to teleport out of it or something.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Um, Paradise Decay is saying at VR365. He's saying, Anthony, what did you want to ask Stonepunk Studios? I'm chatting to him on Discord. Well, here's the question that I had for Stonepunk Studios and really any developer out there. And Stonepunk is not a good one to ask, actually, because he's a VR developer. But my question is like, for developers that don't really want to have a VR mode because they feel like they can't properly support VR and they can't deal with the customer support, my question is, why not have an experimental mode? An experimental VR mode. That's the question. What is the downside of having an experimental VR mode? Because for me, it seems like one of the main reasons that developers like the Subnautica guys and the Dirt Rally guys, they don't want to put VR in their game because they probably think it's too much of a headache. They just don't want it. The headache isn't worth it. But I'm saying, wait a minute, can't you just put an experimental mode and bury it in the menus? And then you're not officially providing VR support. And I was mentioning this, and then I was thinking to myself, I know that if I was talking right now to the developers of Subnautica, if I was talking to Unknown Worlds Entertainment, they would say, but the problem with that is blah, 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 blah. They would probably have a whole list of things that would be like, yeah, we would do that, but the problem is blah, 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 blah. So I would be curious, Stonepunk Studios, a legitimate developer, they might know why developers wouldn't want to just have a little experimental mode. So what do you think about this concept, Main Fan, of like the Subnautica situation, the Dirt Rally situation? First of all, do you understand why these developers don't do it? Because of, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many bugs in Subnautica. When I experienced this bug all the time, where I would, like, dock my Seamoth into the Cyclops, and then the Cyclops would just disappear and end up like 100 feet up in the air. That happened to me at least 10 times. I had lots of crazy bugs like that, and I just think they had so many issues with just the regular flat game that I just think they can't. You don't have enough resources to devote to fixing all the bugs and everything. But yeah, the experimental thing. If they put it in the beta, I mean, I would love that, but I guess they just don't have time or money.
Here's a question. Are there any... Okay, and Stonepunk Studios is saying, good question. I can answer this from my perspective, having tried this a few times with normal games. But what I was going to say, main fan, is, damn it, now I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to go to you with a question, and then I saw Stonepunk Studios replied back to it. I know what I was going to say. Okay, is there any flat game you can think of that has an experimental VR mode? Like, is there any example of what I'm talking about?
Like there's this game, A Ghost of a Tale, but that's sort of a mod. I can't think of one right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's I know there's VR games that have like experimental room scale mode and experimental this and experimental that, but I was trying to think, is there a flat game that offers an experimental VR mode? Well, Alien Isolation, the VR mod, they had an experimental mode that was like hidden.
Yeah.
It was hidden in there, but it wasn't like you had to like get in there and hack it out of there.
Yeah, back when I had a DK2, I could use that experimental mode and play it.
Okay, so Stonepunk has replied, and let me read his answer here. He says, I think it can be done pretty easily most times in theory, but the biggest issue, number one, is performance. You really need to optimize for VR. And second is the scale of the world and collision. So yeah, I guess if you do offer an experimental VR mode, then there is that. See, but my question for Stonepunk is like, okay, so there's this game Subnautica. It has some modicum of VR support that does work. I got to imagine that, I mean, we're looking at Subnautica Below Zero right here. Oh, this comes out on January 30th? Holy crap. I didn't know that this was coming out in a matter of days. Did you know this, main fan?
Yeah, that's what made me go into the forums and find out about the VR support, the fact that it was coming out soon. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. I was kind of wondering why everybody was talking about Subnautica all of a sudden, this Below Zero, because I remember we heard about it forever ago. I had no idea. Wow. I had no idea that this was coming out in a couple days. No wonder everybody's talking about this. But like my question for Stonepunk would be, okay, so Subnautica has some modicum of VR support, right? And although it has some problems with it, there's people that are playing it in VR and they're having a wonderful time. Now, I got to imagine that Below Zero basically uses the same engine for the most part. And so my question for Stonepunk is, why doesn't Unknown Worlds Entertainment add this as an experimental option buried in the menus, and it would work basically the same as it's working in the first Subnautica, but they just are hands off. Like, there's no support. We're not doing anything. This is just a purely experimental mode. You guys can hack whatever you want to hack. You can try to make something happen. Like, why doesn't Unknown Worlds Entertainment do that? Is there a specific reason they're doing that? Is it because maybe the game engine really is different from one game to another?
Yeah, I read in the forums that it is using a different engine.
Ah, well, that's our answer right there. That's definitely our answer. Wow, yeah. So I did not know this was coming out in a couple of days. That does make it that much more disappointing, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and this new engine might actually need more resources than the original.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at that. That looks cool, like the snow and stuff. Is this like above? Oh, you probably can't see what I'm looking at yet, but I'm looking at some pictures from Subnautica Below Zero, and this kind of looks like above, like not underwater. It looks kind of like mountains and snow and like these weird alien flowers. I don't know if that's actually underwater or not.
The first one has islands that you can walk around on too.
Oh, okay. I never even got to that part. I got to get back into regular Subnautica. Like, you talk about scratch the surface. Yeah, this looks like above water right here. It does look like a really cool world to explore, like this new Subnautica. But dude, once you've gone VR, like, do you ever play flat games, main fan?
Only those old arcade games. I don't play any modern flat games. No.
Okay, and Stone Punk is replying to the last question I had. He says, I think in general there is a lot of extra work for VR as an experimental mode that if not done well could just lead to lower quality version and possibly lower. Yeah, see, the bottom line, to me it really sounds like the devs, they just don't want to deal with it. It's just not worth their effort. I think ultimately they're willing to deal with like the uproar because it's a minor uproar among a niche of a niche. It sounds really loud when we go into these different subreddits where it seems like everybody's enraged, but the problem is we're a niche of a niche. Like, that's our problem, right?
Yeah, we were probably lucky to get VR support, in the first Subnautica and in the first Dirt Rally. And I don't know, they must have not had enough VR sales to, incentivize them to do it again.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we should be done with this show pretty soon. I'm going to get out of here, but because we have MainFan on the line, I'll stick with it for a little bit longer. I'm bouncing over to the Oculus Rift subreddit to see what's going on over here. I'm not going to the Vive subreddit. I'm done with that for now. See, the problem is with the Vive subreddit, and I know, actually, why don't we go over to the Vive subreddit, actually, because I'll ask you a few questions here, because you've been down with VR since the very, very beginning in like April of 2016. I think I remember you back at that time, because I remember when I first ordered my Vive, I was on the Vive subreddit every day, and I was on it damn near all day long. And I remember Arrowin X, like you probably remember him as well. He doesn't hang out on Reddit very much anymore, but we had like this really nice community. It was really because we were all waiting for the same thing, and we were all really excited, and we were all looking forward to this birth of virtual reality. And so it was like this shared love that we all had. And it was a really cool time very early in the days of the Vive subreddit. And so I don't know if you're like me, MainFan. I know you got a bunch of different headsets now. But like when I wake up in the morning and when I fire up my computer, it's like, I don't know, it's just like a habit. I go to the Vive subreddit before I go anywhere else. And I just kind of look at all the main topics that are on the Vive subreddit. And then maybe I'll bounce to the Oculus subreddit. And then I'll bounce to PSVR. But doesn't this suck that our Vive subreddit, like, do you think this is going to blow over? Or do you think this Vive subreddit is just going to die a painful death here and we're going to have to move to a new one?
I think this is just temporary and it'll just blow over.
Yeah, I sure hope so. But yeah, it is kind of crazy what's going on here. See ya, our Vive, everybody. Have you been over to the Vive_VR?
Yeah, I subscribed to it and checked it out. Yeah.
You're part of the problem, MainFan. No.
But I didn't unsubscribe to Vive.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't unsubscribe.
It's just like another subreddit I'm gonna have to look at now.
But so when you look at the Vive_VR, and you look at this subreddit, and we see a million, there's a million little video posts on the left side. Now, is that good or bad, MainFan? Or is it both?
Well, if they're a bunch of fake upvotes and people saying this game is great when they're just, friends of the developer or something, yeah, that's not good. But I mean, I don't know. At least we're seeing trailers and learning more about games.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
I don't know how you create the right kind of, I don't know what kind of system would solve this problem. Because see, if you put a gatekeeper on it, then you're giving the gatekeeper too much power. But if you don't have a gatekeeper and you just let it go wild, then it does become, because think of how many people have YouTube channels. You have a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. Paradise has a YouTube channel. Virtual Reality Oasis, MRTV, Sweeviver, Cass and Chari. There's a million of us, right? And so if we all start posting every little Let's Play we do up on here, and every little I avoid doing that just because I don't want people to see my stuff and be like, oh my God, this guy again. Because I know I look at some other people's stuff and I think that myself.
Yeah, I can see somebody saying a little video of my wife enjoying the Gnomes and Goblins preview. That's so old.
Yeah.
Why are they even posting that?
Well, do you remember the early days of VR when everybody would have their wife or girlfriend in VR.
Yeah.
Remember when that was a thing, dude?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, let's face it, a lot of times the wife or the girlfriend would be wearing like yoga pants or some shit, and it was almost like, I don't know what was going on there. It was a thing for a minute though. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to the Oculus Rift subreddit, though, because can't really take some of these other ones seriously right now. I'm going to refresh this. I'm just going to see if there's anything interesting that popped on here.
Speaking of that, I remember, I don't know where I saw it on the internet, but I saw a woman 100% nude in a Vive doing VR.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too. And I was like, where do I go to see more?
I know.
Yeah, that was funny. But that is the funny thing about having a headset on your face is you could take a lady, right, that has really nice hair, you know, and she's very physically fit, and you could put a headset on her and she might be the most beautiful thing in the world, or maybe not, and you don't really know. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, one of the questions here on the Oculus Rift subreddit is, do you think we'll see an Oculus Quest Super Bowl commercial? This is a pretty good question, because a week from today, I believe, is the Super Bowl. And, you know, the timing actually kind of makes sense. Do you think we might see an Oculus Quest Super Bowl commercial?
I don't think they're going to do a commercial that far in advance when it's not, you know, available yet.
But is it that far in advance? Because it might only be, you know, because the Super Bowl is February 3rd. And then if the Oculus Quest is coming out on April 30th, you know, I mean, you won't have a commercial that says like available now and stuff, but you could have a commercial that says it's coming, you know, it's coming, get ready for it, you know, kind of like one of those hype commercials where you're just trying to like people are like, there's something coming from Facebook. I don't know what it is, but you know, there's something crazy coming. There was a commercial on the Super Bowl.
I'd be very surprised, because it's pretty rare that I see an Oculus commercial.
Yeah, I don't know. I could go either way with it, because on the one hand, Super Bowl commercials are crazy expensive, and you really wonder if you're ever going to get your you know, if it's going to be effective. Are you just throwing millions of dollars away for no reason? But at the same time, part of me thinks that if they're really going to sell like 1.3 million Oculus Quests, they need to kind of do stuff like this. Have you seen there's a commercial? There's a commercial that's on TV right now, and it has a bunch of people running around, and they're all wearing like orange shirts, and then there's a huge bunch of people wearing blue shirts, and there's a huge bunch of people wearing purple shirts. Have you seen this commercial where there's all these like crowds of people running and jumping over stuff? Have you seen that?
I don't think so, but I fast forward through commercials, so that's probably why.
Okay, so there's a commercial that's going on right now that's like that, and it turns out that it's an Apple commercial. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is a Google commercial. This is a Google, because they got like people wearing yellow, people wearing orange, people wearing green, people wearing blue. And I'm thinking these are the Google colors. And then another part of me is like, no, this is a Windows commercial. It's for Microsoft Windows, you know, like the little colors of Windows, like the little Windows logo. And then at the very end, you find out it's actually like an Apple iPhone Pixel screen commercial. But I could see a commercial kind of like that, where you don't really know what's going on, but you're kind of creating this hype. Like we do have commercials, Super Bowl commercials very specifically, where they don't really, like they could just have a silhouette of somebody that's wearing a headset and they're doing something, but you can't really see what it is. And at the very last second, it's like some celebrity that's playing VR, and they take off the Oculus Quest headset, and they're just smiling ear to ear, like James Franco or somebody. You know, they put somebody like, and it's like a silhouette, so it's like you don't really know what's going on. And then at the very end, it's James Franco, and he takes the headset off, and he's just smiling with like a shit-eating grin, kind of a smile, and it's like Oculus Quest, get prepared, or some
James
kind
Franco. That wouldn't be the right guy to pick. He's had some like sexual harassment accusations.
Okay. But you
Maybe
need
The
somebody.
Rock.
You need somebody that's funny, that a lot of people like them, but they're kind of funny. They're kind of edgy a little bit. But yeah, you do not want the sexual harassment aspect of it. That's for sure. Definitely not that, brah. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for some other topics potentially on this Oculus subreddit. What about this? Have you heard that Oculus has just made it easier to screencast mobile VR sessions to your phone? Did you see anything about this? Do you have an Oculus Go? I don't even know if you have a Go. You don't.
I only have just a Gear VR.
Okay, and the reason you don't have a Go is because you had a Gear VR already, right? You probably just didn't.
Exactly.
You didn't feel the need to double up. But is there a part of you, as being somebody that is so into VR, is there a part of you that kind of wishes you had a Go? But I mean, you really have a Go though, right?
Not at all.
No.
Like, I don't ever even. I only use the Gear VR for prawn actually, and I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get the Quest, and once you have a Quest, I don't know why you would need a Go.
True. Yeah. Absolutely true. I mean, we were kind of talking about that on VR Roundtable today. I kind of wondered, because I think it would be nice if we had a $99 product, a $99, a decent product that was $99. Because how many times do you go into like a Walgreens or a CVS or like a Target or a Walmart, and they have those cheapo, crappy VR headsets? It would be nice if like the Oculus Go could become that cheapo headset and then get rid of all those other crappy ones that just absolutely suck.
Yeah, what's the price now? Is it 99 or
No, it's $199.99.
$199.
But
Okay.
maybe when the Quest comes down the pipe, maybe there will be a major drop, and then they kind of say, we've got these 4 platforms or whatever it is. What about on VR Roundtable today? One of the things that we talked about, like there is something going on over there at Oculus. People are giving like different people that should be in the headset where they pull it up and they have a smile. So Bill Cosby's one option, Robert De Niro, and Martin Lawrence. What? These are some strange. How about Beyonce? Beyonce. She did like a Nintendo DS commercial. No, how about the goddamn Queen? That's Paolo Triani. Who could be in the headset? How about like
the Queen of England?
I guess, yeah. Oh, how about what's her name? Who's the princess in England? Maples, or what's her name? God, I forgot her name.
Our British people need to tell us.
Marla Maples?
Marla Maples.
Is that it?
That's Donald Trump's ex.
Oh, no, that's, What's her name? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart.
I can't remember.
But she's on everything. They could have her in the headset. And Jim Hall says, I doubt the price would drop that much right away. That would be a huge drop in price. But one thing I was going to ask you, Main Fan, is something appears to be going on over there at Facebook and Oculus related to augmented reality. Now, we don't know what it is, but supposedly hundreds of employees have switched. Markle, yeah. What's her first name though?
Meghan.
Meghan, yeah, Meghan Markle. Okay, yeah, have Meghan Markle take the headset off, and you see, oh my God, it's Meghan Markle, and she loves the Oculus Quest. There you go. Or maybe somebody from like Saturday Night Live, like maybe what's his name? He's in
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, or somebody like that. That'd be cool. Homer Simpson. Okay, but what do you think? Because we were talking today on VR Roundtable, we were talking about, like, I have this theory that Oculus does not want to confuse the message with an AR headset anywhere near the arrival of Oculus Quest. They are not going to come out with anything. But GDC is coming up, and so if Oculus is really going to be starting to move towards AR, if they really do have an AR prototype that, it's not going to release this year, but who knows, maybe 2020 it could possibly release, they got to start getting developers on board. Do Pete Davidson, I don't think he'd work out too good. But will they show off any kind of an AR prototype at GDC? Like, would they risk that with the Oculus Quest coming up so soon? Or do you think these can be separate products and they won't confuse anybody?
I don't think they'll show anything. They might talk vaguely about something, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I just think it's too much confusion. But like Steve like completely disagrees with me, and he thinks no, it's a library of products, and people will understand that. And I think we'll understand it because we're like really into it. But I think, like, see, already right now, I think with the Oculus Go and with the Oculus Rift, I think there's a lot of everyday people that are confused already. Like, they're like, wait a minute, there's an Oculus Go, there's an Oculus Rift. Well, which one am I supposed to buy, God damn it? And now you're going to bring out an Oculus Quest. They're going to be even more confused after they watch the Super Bowl and they see the commercial, you know?
But I think they're still doing research, and I don't think they're ready yet.
All right. Well, you know what, Main Fan, you joined us kind of late here. I got to get out of here because I've been double dipping. This was another double dipper, and I got to get out of here. But it's nice to have you join us every once in a while. I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully the people like it. And, you know, we got to get you on some more of these shows, especially when we don't have a lot to talk about. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and mute you now, but I'll talk to you later on Reddit or whatever. I mean, Discord probably. Not Reddit. Later. Reddit is burning. All right, we'll see you. Okay, yeah, that was Main Fan checking in with us, and so it's about time to get out of here, guys. So let me go. Main Fan keeps screwing up my episodes. He keeps jumping in way late and discombobulating me. And then now I've got these really long episodes, and people are wondering, am I going to 2-hour episodes? Not exactly. All right, well, here is my outro logo for VR 365, and that is going to conclude it for a Sunday Funday that was really all over the map. Did you guys want to hear a freaking preaching about racism and what you believe in, and it creates your reality? Did you guys want to hear about that? Probably not, but you did. But anyway, that's what happened. You know, you just never know what's going to happen on these shows. That's why they're so exciting. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. I will be back tomorrow. Monday is a regular day. It'll be January 28th, and I hope to join you guys at about 11 a.m. And I'll see you guys then. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Maybe try some VR furballs. Try that demo on Oculus. Try some other stuff out. You know, the Walk on Arrow demo, maybe the Derail Valley demo. There are some demos out there to get into. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. So have a good one. Take it easy. Later.